Hey y'all, thanks for joining me. My name's Jennifer with True to You Yoga, and today's WTH bite is going to be about Warrior 3 and how to prep for the pose. So Warrior 3, let me give you just a little demo, is when you are standing on one leg, your body is tilted forward, your torso is, and your leg is extended behind you, so your body is a T. I know it's kind of difficult finding that balance. So let's start out on the floor. You can pad your knees if you need to with a blanket or a towel. And come into tabletop. Root down with your fingers into the floor, lifting up through your palms so all of your weight isn't dumped into your wrists. Your knees are underneath of your hips. And go ahead and tuck your toes. Engage your abs, pulling that belly button up towards your spine, and your gaze is down towards the floor. Take your right leg and extend it behind you. Have your toes on the floor. From here, think about dropping your right hip instead of rotating it open. Drop it, so then I could place a glass of water right here on your lower back tailbone area, and it wouldn't spill. Your next inhale, engage your glutes and your hamstrings to lift your leg up. So then that right leg is straight out, and you've got this T shape for your torso, and then the base of your T is your other leg. Again, think about dropping that hip. And exhale and lower your foot down to the floor. Bring your right knee in, and now let's do that on your left side. So your left leg is going to reach back, toes are on the floor, drop that left hip instead of rotating it open. Keep your hips dropped and square to the floor. Think about me balancing that cup of water on your lower back. Inhale, lifting your leg up, your heel up towards the ceiling somewhat, using your glutes and your hamstrings so your leg is straight back. And your body is one long line from your heel to the top of your head. And then think about your hips again. Draw those abs up. Exhale, lower your foot back down to the floor and bring your knee back for a table. All right, so now let's take that and incorporate those same things, but we're going to incorporate them standing. If you have a blanket, go ahead and move it. If you have some blocks, it would be great for those. You could use a chair. You can even use it up against the wall. You can have your kid help you out. It doesn't really matter which you would use to find that stabilization. So we're going to plant our left foot and root down with our big toe or little toe and our heel, sucking that mat up. Okay? Your hips are square to the front of the room. You can have your right foot back, kind of a little step back. Nice, tall, long spine. Zip up those abs. Start to bring your torso forward, bending at your waist, keeping your legs straight, just a slight bend in your knee. If you have your blocks here, you can rest your hands on your blocks to help support your torso weight. Check your hip. Make sure that right hip is still down, and now flex those toes and lift that leg up so it is parallel again to the floor, that long line from your right heel to the top of your head, and then drop that hip. And while you're dropping that right hip, think about pushing up out of your left hip though. Instead of letting your left hip pop out to the side, like if we were trying to carry our kid on our hip, we want that long and the right hip dropped. Exhale and lower your right leg back down. Feet are next to each other. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, let's swan dive up. Exhale, hands to heart center. So let's do that on the other side. Your right foot, we're rooting down into the floor. That big toe, little toe in your heel. Your left foot, we're going to take it a little step back. Check your hips. Make sure they are square to the front of your mat. nice and tall, zip up through your abs, all the way up. Gaze is forward. Bend from your waist. Nice and gentle. We don't just flop. We want to control. Reach for your blocks. And now lift that left leg up. So then you have that long line of energy again from your heel, your left heel, to the top of your head. Drop your left hip down and pull your right hip in, keeping everything square. And pull those abs up towards your spine. Your gaze is down. Keep breathing. Next exhale, lower your left leg back down, foot on the floor. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, swan dive up. Exhale, hands to heart center. Once you are able to work on your warrior three with the bending over and getting the blocks before lifting your leg, then you can begin to incorporate and work on going straight into the pose as a long line of energy throughout the entire process. So I'll do your left foot again. If you're standing on your left foot, rooting down with those toes and your heel, your right foot is back, lifting up tall again, except this time, instead of bending at our hips, we are going to keep this long line of energy from our head to our foot and just tip forward. Drop that right hip, bring your left hip in, and if you need to, then you can bring your hands down to your blocks. And then slowly, let's reverse that, so then you're keeping that long line of energy as you come back up. And then we will switch sides. So again, we're rooting down with our right big toe, little toe, and heel, sucking that mat up. Step your left foot back. Square your hips off to the front of the room. Little bend in that right knee. Tailbone is reaching down, spine is long, gaze is forward. I like to start with my hands on my hips whenever I'm learning this. Long line of energy from the top of our head to our feet, well, our left foot, and then start to tip that whole long line all at once into your T position. Again, your blocks are there if you need them. Drop that left hip and pull that right hip in. So you're like squeezing your inner thighs together, like scissoring them in there, or you have a block there that you're trying to hold in place. Pull those abs up. That's going to help with your balance and keep your gaze steady. And then slowly let's reverse it, coming back up as a long line of energy to Tadasana. All right, so that is warrior three, some different exercises to prep for it. If y'all have any questions, please let me know. Thank you all so much for joining me today. Please like and subscribe. I would be so honored. Thank you again. May you always stay true in your intentions, true to your heart's desire, and speak loving truth to those around you. Love ya.